So no, yes.
So don't leave with yeah.
So no.
Like,
That was
you
awesome.
finished, yeah, but I didn't do 2 of them. So no, you didn't.
Don't lead with yeah.
Like, what's the significance of reading?
It's like-
I'm like, what?
So,
Oh yeah. What a pussy.
so is your car totaled? Yeah, well, they have to fix the
Mirror.
front. Yeah, it's like, well, no, don't say yeah if it's not total. Okay. All right, so let's go back now. Let's do 27, and then we'll do 24.
Oh man, I guess I'm looking. Wait, we're doing 20.
27.
Yeah.
It says we have e to the xy power minus y squared equals e minus 4. You only got what?
3 right without.
Well,
Oh, now you're in my tier.
keep guessing. Okay. It says
At least you got more right guessing.
when x is 1/2 and when y is 2.
Whoa.
Are you kidding? Yeah, but now can you see the effect of guessing the same letter? Right?
That's
Wait,
like
on the exam, I'm just guessing straight C's.
Straight.
Oh, you probably get about
That's true, but this
20%
test
of them
doesn't
right.
define me. See.
Yeah.
Me too.
Or 25% of them right. Okay, so let's see here.
Let's see
It
what
says-
my score is.
It says at the point 1/2 and 2, what is dy dx? What is the slope of this relation? Not a function. What is the slope of this relation? Well, we need a derivative to do that. And this requires remember, implicit differentiation.
Yeah.
And
I have no idea.
this requires not only the product rule, it also requires the chain rule.
Because supposed we just eat X.
Right, because where you would just see x, we have x,
So the
y.
inside is going to be the product.
Correct. That's correct. Yep. So so let's do the derivative of the inside first. What's the derivative of xy? Okay. All right. Well,
Y.
1 times
Y.
y plus this times the derivative of that.
1.
But because we're doing the derivative with respect to x, we have to do dy dx. We have to put on a dy dx.
Okay.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have to put on a dy dx. So what we have is, we have y plus x dy dx.
Wait, what is Y?
Okay,
One more time.
we're doing the derivative of the inside, right?
Yes.
And this is a product of 2 functions, right? So we have to do the product rule. The derivative of this, 1 times that, y.
Oh.
Plus
Okay.
this, x, times the derivative of y, which is dy dx, right?
So where we don't see a y, we put
Put-
dy.
Yes, correct. Or times the derivative of the outside, e, which is still e, inside unchanged, xy. Right? Okay? I gotta get rid of this. Minus, what's the derivative of y squared? 2y dy dx. Equals
E is
a number,
1.
a constant.
Oh, so it'd be.
So there's no
Right, 0 minus 0. So it's the side of 0. There we go.
But if it's like e to the x, then that would be the
Correct, then it'll be e to the x. Yep. Now, this is going to pose us a problem because one of them has a dy dx and the other one does not have a dy dx. So we're going to have to distribute the e to the xy. Okay, so this is now going to become y e to the xy plus x e to the xy dy dx. All I did was distribute the e to both of these. I squeezed it in here and I put it in front of here. Or no, I put it after, sorry. And I put it here. All right, then minus 2y dy dx equals 0. Now, what you're supposed to do after this step in implicit differentiation is everything that has a dy dx you leave on one side, and everything that doesn't have a dy dx you put on the other side. How many terms do we have? 3. 1, 2, 3.
So you subtract.
Subtract.
e.
Right, so we're going to subtract y e to the xy and put it over here. Y e to the xy. So we're subtracting it so that it's gone over there. The next step is to factor out dy dx from whatever remains on that side. So if I factor dy dx out of both of these, it's going to go on the outside. Dy dx. And what's now going to go inside parentheses?
X e to the
Uh-huh.
x y
All right, minus
minus 2y.
2y equals y e to the xy. One more step.
Negative y.
Yeah, wouldn't
Yep,
it be
it's
negative?
negative. You're right. It is negative. I forgot we subtracted it. Sorry about that. And then what do we do with this thing to get dy dx by itself? Yeah, divide by. So we're going to divide by x e to the xy minus 2y on both sides. Cancel, and we get dy dx is equal to negative y e to the xy over x e to the xy minus 2y.
They love these on free on FRQ.
Yeah. Now, plug 1/2 in for x and plug 2 in for y. So, negative 2e to the 1/2 times 2 over 1/2 times e to the 1/2 times 2 minus 2 times 2. Okay, they told us that x is 1/2 and y is 2. So every time I see a y, I'm gonna put a 2. Every time I see an x, I'm gonna put a 1/2. What is 1/2 times 2?
1.
1. So e to the 1 is just e, right? So really the top is now just negative 2e. Down here, that's also now just e. And what does this 2 times 2 become? 4. Right? I'm going to rearrange this.
You can put the 2 at the top, right?
Say it again.
You can move the 1/2 to a 2 on top.
Oh yeah, that's correct. Yep. So this 1/2 divided by 1/2 means times 2. So this now becomes negative 4. And I have to do one more thing because none of my answers will look like this.
Factor out.
I'm gonna multiply the top and the bottom by negative 1. I'm gonna multiply by negative 1 over negative 1. Isn't negative 1 over negative 1 1? Right? So that's gonna make this positive, that's gonna make this positive, and this negative. Which is now 4e over 4 minus e. Which is
factored out a negative.
a negative 1. Yeah, and canceled it.
So that makes it 4e.
I just needed to make it look like one of the multiple choice answers.
So maybe it's e plus 4.
It's D, yeah.
Your
Oh,
your
just one
your
minus.
answering thing is wrong.
I thought I said D.
No, like I bubbled C and said I got it correct.
Uh-oh.
Which one is this? 27? Oh yeah, I put C.
Oh! Hang on, I made a mistake. We gotta go backwards. Hang on. This was 1/2, right? This was minus 4. This was negative 2. Is that right?
Yeah.
Forgot. Before I move this 1/2 up here, I have to factor 1/2 out of the whole thing. So in order to factor, how do I factor a 1/2 out of 4?
Multiply times 2.
I have to multiply by 2. This has to become an 8. Now I can move it up here. Okay, now I can multiply through by negative 1 on top and bottom, and I get 4e over negative e and positive 8. 8 minus e, c. I was going to say, wait a minute, that's weird, because I got all of them right, and I checked them all to the key, and they were all correct. So that's why I'm glad you said that. Yeah, I forgot about that. A lot of this is just simplifying, and you know what else they avail you of in your hurry to get through all the math? Is they don't make you simplify for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And simplification is something that if you were to take honors algebra 1 in 8th grade or 9th grade, probably 8th grade, they would have made you do a lot of simplifying. A lot of simplifying.
So taking that 1/2 from the bottom to the top makes
Yep.
it a negative 2 on top.
Well, it was already negative up top.
Oh, so just the 2.
Yeah.
So we have 1/2 e minus 2 or
1/2 e minus 4.
4, and
Yep.
then you multiply them both by 1/2.
All right, let's do it another way. Yeah, negative 2e over 1/2 e minus 4, right? Watch this. I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom by 2. Is that okay? If I multiply the top by 2, I get negative 4e. If I multiply the bottom by 2, I get e minus 8.
Put C for everything, it's a 5.
We can even simplify it further. What if I had made it, what if I multiplied the top and the bottom by negative 2 over negative 2? Then the top would be positive 4e and the bottom would be negative e plus 8, which is now what the answer was.
What? It would be
8 minus e, what, 4e over 8 minus e. You ready for your related rates? We didn't get to any of the calculator problems.
Nope.
We could do them.
Monday.
Yeah, that's possible. Also, we could, if you wanted to do some of them on Saturday, if you're able to make it.
Oh.
Yeah.
What time is that again?
I'm gonna get there at 6:30.
Be there around.
Well, I
9
get
or
the
10.
feeling that I'm probably gonna have to be gone by 2, because my wife is talking house fixing, and so I probably can't push it too late. But so let's say I'm gonna push it till 2 if I can.
It's at where?
Panera Bread in Conyers, not Lypham.
We have
Conyers.
playoffs Friday, and if we split Friday, then we play Saturday.
Got it. Okay.
But if we don't split, then I'll be in.
Okay. That sounds good. We'll just go with what we get, with what we have. All right. So it says sand. Okay. So related rates. The procedure goes like this. Step 1: identify given rates. Identify your given rates. Okay. In this case, they tell us that the circumference is increasing at the constant rate of 5 pi. So, if the circumference is increasing, that means dc dt. That's a rate of change. And it says that it's increasing at a constant rate of 5 pi. Step 2 is identify the desired rate. Yep. What rate are you trying to find? Okay, we're trying to find dv dt because later in the question it says what is the rate of change in the volume. Okay. Then it says that you want to find, or then I say step 3 is you need a formula, you need some kind of formula that relates this to this, volume to circumference. Well, didn't they give us a formula here, but it doesn't relate volume to circumference? It relates what? Yeah, it says that volume is equal to r cubed over 3. So now what we're going to need is a second formula that relates radius to circumference.
R pi. 2
What?
pi.
2 pi r.
2 pi.
Why did you
make that so complicated?
Okay. So now what we've got here is volume is related to radius and circumference is related to radius. So indirectly we have volume related to circumference, right? The reason we have to do that is because we need something that includes a dc dt and we need something that includes a dv dt. Okay? So, now take the derivative of both of these things. What's the derivative here? dv dt equals
3r
3r squared over 3.
Wouldn't that be the quotient?
No. This is you only need the quotient rule when you have a variable down here. This is the same thing as 1/3 of r cubed.
Oh, just
Yeah, so the 3's are going to cancel, right?
yeah.
3 times, if I have a 3 up here, isn't that going to cancel the denominator?
So it's just r squared.
So it's just r squared, but I also need to tack on a dr dt. Right? Not okay? What's the derivative of this one? dc dt equals,
Oh, pi cancels.
not the pi is a number.
R.
No, if this said 5x, what would the derivative be? Right, it's just 2 pi, right? Because it's r to the first power?
We've been doing this for like 2 hours.
I know, I'm sorry, your brain's probably scrambled.
Yeah, it is.
Alright, 2 pi times dr dt. You're probably going to have to go back and watch this again. Because we have to put on a dr dt. Okay? This goes really well with the other one that I put on this video right before this, because that was also implicit differentiation. All right, now, okay, it says when the circumference is 8 pi, what is dv dt?
So you plug in,
Circumference 8 pi. Go ahead.
you plug in 8 pi,
Uh-huh.
sir.
For circumference, right here, correct? So 8 pi equals 2 pi r. What will that give us?
4.
So r is equal to 4. See, here, go over to dv dt. In order to solve dv dt, what do we need? R and dr dt. We don't have either of these. We have to get them. And the way we get r is through circumference. So we now know that r is 4. Here's dr dt. We need dr dt. Do we know dc dt? What is it? 5 pi. So 5 pi equals 2 pi dr dt.
That's a 2.5.
Yes, it is, because we divide 2 pi on both sides. The pi's cancel and we get 5 over 2. So dr dt is 5 over 2. We have everything we need now.
So you just plug it in now.
Put a 4 here.
16.
16 times
5 over 2.
5 over 2.
That's a 80 over 2, 40.
40.
Wow.
Which is option C.
I was up high away.
Yes. And that's 1 through 28.
16 times 5 over 2.
Let me look at, if we got a couple minutes, we can do, let me find out which ones were the worst on the multiple choice. There was one where like everybody answered a different wrong answer and you all got it wrong. Yeah, it was 41.
Nice.
41. Each one of you picked a different answer and you all got it wrong.
41. Wait, what'd you say?
So you all
What number?
successfully avoided the correct answer.
What number?
In different ways. 41. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I was like,
Sorry.
88.
I had to put it in as 41, but it's going to be, let's see. It's 76 was 31.
Oh,
So it's 86.
oh, dang it. I thought I got it right.
That was the one that I
Yeah.
had reasoning for.
Yeah, tell me on
Oh,
86, what did you put for 86?
I put C because I thought it was right.
B.
B, what did you put?
E.
A.
Okay, so the answer must be B.
No, I put B.
Oh, you put B. Hang on. What
I
did we
put
skip?
C. So is it
Wait, Jeremy, what'd you
E?
put?
The E.
I put E.
Somebody
D
put,
then.
yeah, it's D. I'm sorry, it's D. Okay. Oh, 86. Yeah, okay, this is good. All right, ready? Here we go. I think we got time.
Oh, you need to use the Pythagorean theorem.
Well, you
Or
don't.
what it
That's
goes.
one way to do it. Now remember, this is a calculator problem, right? Okay. So, let me grab a calculator. I don't know if we have time. I don't know when they're gonna send you guys to your next class. So,
It's 10-18.
yeah, I know. We stayed in here until like 10:30 something yesterday. All right. So look.
You find the area of the,
Yeah.
the quarter circle.
Yeah, what we have here is this. We basically need this to cancel that out.
Yep.
It says graph of the function s has domain 0 to 7. Graph consists of a quarter circle, radius 3, segment with a slope of -1. Let B. Now, by the way, the graph here, this function right here, is 3 minus x, or -x plus 3. I know that because it intersects 3 here. It has a slope of -1. Therefore, it goes through 3 up here. So the y-intercept is +3, and the slope is -1. Right? So I know that this function is y equals -x plus 3. Okay? All right. It says we want the definite integral from 0 to b of f of x to be 0. So we know that we're going to accumulate positive here, and we have to accumulate negative here that is equal to this area. Right? This area it's got a radius of 3, so pi r squared, but it's 1/4 of it because it's a quarter circle.
747.
So it's 9 pi over 4, right? And if I put in 9, because I got a calculator, pi over 4, I get 7.0685. Or excuse me, equals 7.0685, right? All right, so here's what I did. I took all the answers and I did a definite integral of negative x plus 3. That's what I did, starting at 0.
Okay, well, what if we didn't know the graph was negative x plus 3?
Okay, then what you could do is you would need this area, right? Which is the distance from here to here. It's 1/2 because it's a triangle. 1/2, and the distance from here to here is going to be b minus 3. b minus 3 times, actually that would be squared because this is a 45, 45, 90.
Yeah.
It's a triangle.
Minus 3 squared.
Yeah. And this has to be equal to 7.0685. Okay? And then solve for b. And I have a calculator. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to key in 0.5 x minus 3 squared. And then I'm going to subtract this. Minus 7, because I'm going to move it over here and then find the 0. Minus 7.0685. Then I'm going to graph. Oh, and I got to hit zoom 6. Zoom 6. And then I'm going to find where it crosses the x-axis over here. I'm going to go second calc, option 2, left bound, right bound, enter, 6.759, which is close enough to 6.760, option D.
But you find where it,
I personally think it's easier just to do the definite integral of this. And you should be able, if you know the slope is -1, you should be able to find out what the y-intercept is and know what the function
I
is.
should have thought more about how to
Yeah.
find the area of that triangle. I would have had it.
I'm sure there are probably at least 2 or 3 other ways of solving this.
Probably could have had like
Let me turn off the
25
video.
if I didn't make any mistakes.